Stop. Right now. If you've got a water filter sitting in your pack, your bug-out bag, your camping gear, wherever, I need about 15 minutes of your time. Because that filter you trust with your life, it's hiding something from you. Something the outdoor industry really doesn't want you to think about too hard. See, there's a chemical out there. Costs about $2. Weighs almost nothing. Fits in the palm of your hand. And in certain situations, it can do something your expensive filter flat out cannot do. Your great-grandparents knew about it. The military still uses it. The Red Cross hands it out in disaster zones right now, today, as we speak. But you probably never heard of it. And that's not an accident. Now, before I go any further, I gotta be straight with you. There are 3 critical mistakes people make when they use this chemical. And if you get even one of them wrong, this life-saving tool becomes the thing that sends you to the hospital. I'm gonna break down every single one of them before this video is over. So stick with me, because this might be the most important survival lesson you hear all year. Here's what the outdoor world sells you. A portable water filter. Could be a pump. Could be a squeeze. Could be a gravity setup or one of those fancy straw filters. They come in every shape, every size, and every price range you can imagine. $60, $100, sometimes $200 or more. And look, when they work, they work. I'll give them that. But here's the thing nobody in the gear review world likes to talk about. They don't always work. I've been out in the backcountry enough to see it with my own eyes. A brand new filter freezes overnight. Prax. Done. 8 ounces of dead weight. I've watched a guy spend 20 minutes pumping his filter just to fill one bottle because the cartridge was half clogged and he didn't know how to backflush it properly. I've seen people drinking through filters that were way past their cartridge life, totally confident they were safe, when they absolutely were not. And here's the big one. The one that really gets me. Most portable water filters on the market today do not remove viruses. They catch bacteria. They catch protozoa like Giardia and Crypto. But viruses? Too small. They slip right through that membrane like it isn't even there. So if you're collecting water downstream from a campground, a trail crossing, a small town, anywhere humans have been, viruses are a real concern. And your $100 filter is giving you confidence, not protection. Confidence. There's a huge difference between those two things. And in the wild, that difference can wreck you. Now let me be real with you here. Because I'm not the kind of guy who's going to sit in front of a camera and tell you every water filter on Earth is garbage. That would be dishonest. And dishonest advice in the outdoors gets people hurt. Filters are not useless. They are tools. Good tools, in many situations. A quality filter removes sediment. It handles bacteria. It deals with protozoa. For standard US backcountry use, a solid filter does a lot of good work, and I respect that. But a tool is only as smart as the person using it. And the problem I see over and over again is this. People buy one filter, clip it to their pack, and walk into the woods thinking they've solved the water problem forever. They stop thinking. They stop questioning. They trust one single tool like it's some kind of magic shield that protects them from everything. It doesn't, because here's what most people never learn. Filtering and disinfecting are 2 completely different things. A filter strains stuff out. It physically blocks particles and organisms based on size. But disinfection? That's about killing or deactivating the biological threats that are too small for a filter to catch. Most people don't know the difference. And that gap in understanding is where the real danger lives. So are filters a scam? No, not if you understand what they do and what they don't do. But the belief that a filter makes every water source completely safe in every condition? Yeah, that belief absolutely can scam you, because it replaces knowledge with comfort. And comfort without knowledge is a dangerous thing to carry into the backcountry. So what's the answer? What's this forgotten $2 chemical that the outdoor industry pretends doesn't exist? Calcium hypochlorite. Granular form. The dry stuff. You might know it as pool shock. Now hold on. Before you tune out thinking this sounds sketchy, let me tell you who else uses this. The Federal Emergency Management Agency recommends it as an emergency water treatment method. The CDC has it listed as an approved option. The World Health Organization distributes chlorine-based treatment in developing countries and disaster relief zones all around the globe. The United States military has relied on chlorine-based water purification for well over 100 years. This is not some internet hack I found on a random forum at 2 in the morning. This is proven, documented, battle-tested knowledge that has kept human beings alive in the worst conditions imaginable. And here's the part that should make you mad. A 1-pound bag of calcium hypochlorite costs a few bucks, maybe less. And that 1 pound can treat roughly 10,000 gallons of drinking water. Let me say that again, 10,000 gallons, for the cost of a gas station coffee. Now ask yourself something. If you were a company selling $60 filters with $30 replacement cartridges, would you want your customers to know about a $2 solution that does 10,000 gallons? Of course not. There's no subscription model, no upgrade cycle, no repeat business. Just one cheap bag and a whole lot of clean water. That's why you never hear about it. Not because it doesn't work, because it works too well and costs too little. Alright, let's get into exactly how to use this. Because the process matters. It's simple, but you have to respect it. And it starts before the chemical ever touches the water. Step 1. Choose the best source you can find. Not the closest water, the best water. Moving water is usually better than stagnant. Clear water is better than muddy. Upstream from camps, trails, livestock, and roads is better than downstream. If the water smells like chemicals, fuel, sewage, or something rotten, walk away. No chemical is going to fix a fundamentally poisoned source. This is the step most people skip entirely. They obsess over the treatment method and completely ignore the source. And that's backward thinking. Step 2. Pre-filter your water. If it's cloudy, if it's got sediment, leaves, bits of dirt floating in it, don't just dump in the chemical and hope for the best. That's lazy. Let the water settle first. Let gravity do some work. Then pour off the clearer water through a bandana, a clean shirt, a coffee filter, anything that catches the big stuff. This doesn't make the water safe by itself, but it gives the chemical a fighting chance to do its job properly, because cloudy water can shield pathogens and reduce the chemical's effectiveness. Step 3. Make your stock solution. This is critical. You do not dump dry calcium hypochlorite granules directly into your drinking water. Ever. You take 1 heaping teaspoon of the granules, plain calcium hypochlorite, no additives, no algacetes, no fragrances, and dissolve it into 2 gallons of clean water. Stir it well. Let it fully dissolve. That concentrate is your stock solution. Step 4. Add the stock solution to your drinking water. Roughly 3 tablespoons of stock solution per gallon of water you want to treat. Pour it in. Stir it up. Step 5. Wait. 30 minutes minimum. I don't care how thirsty you are. I don't care how clean that mountain stream looks. The chemical needs contact time. That's the price you pay for lightweight, reliable purification. And honestly, it's not a high price if you think ahead. Fill your water before you're desperate. Treat it before dark. Stay 1 step ahead of thirst. After 30 minutes, lean in and sniff. You should catch a faint chlorine smell, like a light swimming pool. If you smell it, you're good. If you don't, add a tiny bit more stock solution, stir again, and wait another 15 minutes. That's the whole process. No pumping, no squeezing, no cartridges, no bulky gear. Just a small bag of powder, a teaspoon, and a container. Now here's the part you cannot skip. Because these 3 mistakes are the difference between this chemical saving your life and this chemical ruining your trip. Or worse. Mistake number 1. Skipping the stock solution. This is the big one. People think they can just sprinkle the dry granules straight into their water bottle and drink. Absolutely not. The concentration will be dangerously high. It will burn your throat. It'll tear up your stomach lining. You will end up in far worse shape than if you had just taken your chances with the dirty water. Always make the stock solution first. Always. Mistake number 2. Buying the wrong product. Calcium hypochlorite sold for swimming pools often comes loaded with extra chemicals. Algacetes, clarifiers, fragrances, stabilizers. You do not want any of that inside your body. What you need is pure calcium hypochlorite. 68% concentration or higher. Nothing else on the ingredient list. Read the label. If it lists anything besides calcium hypochlorite, put it back and keep looking. This step is non-negotiable. Mistake number 3. Not waiting long enough. This one's sneaky because it feels harmless. The water looks clear. You're thirsty. You figure 5 or 10 minutes is probably fine. It's not. Chlorine needs that full 30 minutes of contact time to kill what's living in the water. Cut that short, and you're drinking water with active pathogens in it. Tiny things you can't see. Things that will hit you hours later when you're miles from help. Be patient. 30 minutes. No shortcuts. Get those 3 things right, and you've got yourself the most reliable, most affordable, most lightweight water purification method available. Or none. Nothing else even comes close on a cost-to-performance basis. And that brings me to the bigger point here. The one that matters more than any chemical, or any filter, or any piece of gear you'll ever own. Real survival is not about having the best equipment. It never was. It's about having options. It's about understanding what each tool in your kit can do, what it can't do, and knowing when to trust it and when to change your plan. A filter is a great tool. Carry one if it fits your setup. But also carry the knowledge that it has limits. That it can fail. That it doesn't cover every threat. A chemical treatment is a great backup. Lightweight. Cheap. Proven. But it's not magic either. It won't remove heavy metals. It won't remove fuel contamination or pesticides. It needs clean enough source water, and it needs time to work. No single method is the final answer. And the moment you believe one tool makes you invincible is the moment you become vulnerable. The smartest people I've ever met in the backcountry weren't the ones with the most expensive packs. They were the ones who understood the most. They knew clear water could still be dangerous. They knew dirty-looking water could be improved if handled right. They knew every method had a place. And they never let ego replace judgment. Because the wilderness does not care how much money you spend. It does not care what brand is printed on your gear. It does not reward confidence. It rewards attention. And usually, the people who make it home safe are not the ones who carry the most stuff. They're the ones who carry the most knowledge. A $2 chemical in a tiny bag, tucked into the corner of your pack, weighing almost nothing. It's not exciting. It won't impress anybody at the trailhead. But when your filter cracks on a cold night and you're 2 days from the nearest road, that little bag becomes the most valuable thing you own. That's old school thinking. That's frontier thinking. Simple. Proven. Quiet. And it works when everything else falls apart. So stop looking for one magic answer. Start building layered skills. Carry knowledge first. Tools second. And never confuse convenience with certainty. Because out here, water is never just water. It's a test. Of your patience. Of your judgment. And of whether you really know what you're doing. Stay sharp out there.